Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Trinity Competitive Racing for Season 15 of the Platinum class, and we are here for Round 12. It's the Hungarian Grand Prix, and will you look at this? 17 drivers tonight. If I'm not mistaken, that is one of our best attendances and may be our best attendance of the season for the Platinum class, which is surprising because this is more than silver and gold combined the last couple of days, and we have a ton of storylines because if you're a regular of TCR, there's probably some names you don't recognize on the list. If you've been watching TCR for a while, you may recognize those names, so we will get into that in just a second. My name is Camden Luca, and we have just 3 rounds remaining. If you include the sprint race today, which will be happening after qualifying, we have 4 races left essentially, but 17 people tonight, and the first person we are looking at is the Confessor, who is sort of new. He's been back for a few races now, the Season 5 champion, coming to the line, puts up a 115.8. Wow. If that is the first lap on the board for qualifying, then who knows? We might see a 114 come into play. But we got to talk about Darth Vader. He had a pretty disastrous week in Italy last week, and he's looking for a rebound. We'll get into the points in just a second, but 23 points between he and B-Tom. We'll go over all the standings in just a second, but with just a few rounds remaining, Darth Vader, if he wants to go for his first Platinum Championship, he's going to need to have a huge day today. B-Tom's teammate for this race is one of the new people that I mentioned. Flip Flop Fish, a former regular of TCR, is back on the Platinum grid, and boy, he's got a pretty good banker lap as well, a 116.1. And I hate to bring this up, but one of the last times that we saw Flip Flop Fish, he ended up pulling what is now referred to as a flip-flop fish. He missed the start of last season's Australian Grand Prix because he was using the facilities, if we want to use a PG term. He was using the restroom, all right? And he missed the grid, but it's kind of an inside joke. Oh, there's Seagrist. Welcome back. So yeah. Flip-Flop Fish returning, and as of now, he's got a pretty good time, but he's now in P3 because Darth Vader, needing a good run today, second in the championship, and he's second on the board, a 116 flat, and that is almost identical to yesterday's pole time. So just put it into perspective, the pace differential between the Platinum and Golden guys, it's really, really big in comparison to the gaps. Somebody making their brief return to TCR, and I say brief because he's only been gone for a few races, but it's Seafreeze. He's back, and the last time we saw Seafreeze, he was almost winning. He got back-to-back podiums in Canada and France, and nearly did a last-to-first challenge in both of them. So, Seafreeze, a former 3-time champion, and he's still shown his pace this season. I think he's been kind of unlucky at times. He did win the season opener at Australia, so he still knows how to get it done, and I'm sure we'll see him up there at the front today. Somebody else that is coming back is Sequit. It's been a little bit since Sequit has been in TCR, but he is a former TCR Grand Prix winner, which happened to be last week's race, and Silent was the one who won that race, and you know what? He just jumped his teammate, a second driver in the 115s, and right now he is just marginally behind Confessor for that pole position, so Silent looking for a little bit more there. And you know what? The list of reunions doesn't stop. Forzan is back as well. We have everybody just coming back for a TCR reunion with 3 races left in the season, so it's good to have Forzan back. He's been a long-time member of TCR. I want to talk about Raikkonen. Raikkonen is not returning. He's been here all year, but Raikkonen, I'm telling you what, he is going to be a dark horse pick tonight. He did some time trial this week, and he's posted his times, and I've done a little bit of practice with him. He's going to be quick. Going into today, he's 10th in points. He hasn't really had all the podiums and wins this year. As a matter of fact, he has yet to score a podium finish in Season 15, but Raikkonen showing his pace early on here in qualifying, and like I said, I've gotten a preview of some of these guys this week, and some of them are fast, and Raikkonen is one of them, so keep your eye out for him. Ben Swerven looking for redemption. Yesterday he disconnected prior to the start, and unfortunately with this game, if you do that and you don't get back to the grid in time, the game disqualifies you. It's the silliest thing, but he's looking for redemption here tonight. He is reserving. He's a Golden Class driver, but he will be racing tonight. Oh, there's Forzen. In his return to TCR, well, he's starting off pretty quick, 1:15.7, but not as fast as our championship leader, B-Tom. 1:15.6 as his first lap of qualifying. That is pretty impressive, and we might as well go over the standings now. B-Tom has yet to finish off the podium this year, but he only has won a single race. He's had 6 runner-up finishes this season, including the last 2 races in a row. B-Tom looking to get the monkey off his back and return to the top step of the podium tonight. He is in the lead of the championship with 205 points. His arch nemesis, longtime rival now, Darth Vader, 182 points, and that's partially because he had a very poor outing in the TCR Grand Prix last week, and really that was Darth Vader's only bad race this season. Up until that point, he had yet to finish outside the top 5 all season long. Silent, his teammate, coming back out on track with... What just happened? Oh no. Okay. We'll get back in. Yeah, we'll get back in here. Silent has 148 points. I think I'm still streaming. Yeah, we'll get back in here. I think that's a first for me. Yeah, I think we should be able to get back in here pretty easily. Hopefully I can get... Well, actually, I think I got an extra invite here. I don't. Okay. Alright. Brief intermission here while we get back into the session. But we'll continue the points once we get back in, so... So if you're just tuning in, we're having a little difficulty. We'll get back in very shortly, though. I don't think that's happened yet this season, so there we go. There we go. All right, we're back in. Short difficulties there, but we will continue to go over the points in 3, 2, 1, 0. Welcome back. We're back. All right, so we were talking about Silent having 148 points, and that's interesting. I've never seen anybody do that before in TCR. Good job, Silent. Silent has 148 points. We're just going to get off of his screen. 4th place is Mebe, who is not here tonight, but his teammate right now, Confessor, still on top of the charts with a 1:15.4 5-4. And Mebe has 90 points, so he is pretty far back of Silent. Fifth is Lawrence, and I can't believe he's still top 5 in points. He has shown up to only a few races this season, but he has won every single one of them. So, you know, he's done fantastic in the races he's been here. So that rounds out the top 5. If you look at the constructors' points, Ferrari is leading. I gotta get off of the screen. Ferrari is leading with 330 points. It is not technically over. They do have a 97-point gap at the front. Not technically over just yet, but I'm sure after today it will probably be just about finished. So Ferrari looking to get the constructors, and this could be a split championship as Forzan has spun off the track here, probably to let Vitom by. But yeah, things pretty close at the front though. Vitom and Vader separated by 23 points. And it looks like he is coming to Sector 3 a 10th ahead of his time. So it's going to be close between he and Confessor for the pole. As he rounds this left-hander in turn 13 and approaches turn 14. And he's invalid, so his lap will not count. Andy Wu just finished up a lap. He right now is P10, and I actually want to thank him. He's the one that got me back in here, so good job, Andy Wu. But right now sitting in the 10th position. And you know what? For the sprint race, I haven't really talked about it much, but the sprint race will proceed short qualifying, and the top 8 get points. And how the points work for that race is first place will get 8 points, and 8th place will get 1 point. Say that 5 times fast. First place 8 points, 8th place 1 point. First place 8 points, 8th place 1 point. Do that to yourself right now for the next 3 minutes and 17 seconds as we finish up qualifying here. I am a little, I don't want to be a doomsday guy, but I am a little skeptical of how tonight's going to go. Just because I was the lobby host, and typically when the lobby host disconnects, all hell breaks loose. So it hasn't happened, really, it hasn't happened all year being a lobby host, but you know what, there's a first time for everything. But right now, there's only 2 people on track, and they're both McLarens, but Flip Flop is going to set himself up to begin, and we might as well just go on board with him throughout this lap, as he's the only guy now on a flyer as he comes to the line to start his flying lap. This is where most of the overtakes will take place. As they head down, he heads down to turn 1. This is a short DRS area on the track, and he heads down to turn 2. This short third turn right there, you can do full throttle in the race. It's not as easy. This corner will give these guys trouble, and Flip Flop spins out. Does a 360 in turn 4. Right on cue, Flip Flop Fish. And he will be done for his qualifying session. As, looks like we have an issue. That is out of turn 4. Looks like that was Ben swerving off the track there. So now we're getting down to the last bit of qualifying. Everybody coming back out on track to finish their laps, and this is going to be spicy. Right now, the Confessor, 115.454. That's top of the charts. And he's looking to improve. There's been a lot of people that have put down really low 115s in time trial and practice this week. So I can imagine that pole time is not going to stand for the Confessor. So let's go on board with Seafreeze as he begins his lap. He is, I guess, the first one in the 116s. There's 6 people in the 115s right now, and Seafreeze is looking for a little bit more, but we'll keep an eye on him as time goes on. Who's coming to the line here to finish a lap? Anybody? Anybody? Secret starting his lap, and Secret only one to have not put up a lap so far. So this is going to be huge for him to be able to put down a decent lap, as he has not been able to get a lap in thus far. All right, so Forzan looks like going to be one of the last guys to start his lap, along with his teammate for this race, Raikkonen. With 10 seconds left, he will start his lap. B-Tom starting his lap as well. Everybody coming to the line to start their lap as qualifying finishes out. And we will keep an eye on drivers as they come to the line. Stanley, first one to finish, 116.7, puts him in 13th place. Chargers spins off the final corner, and that will end his qualifying session. Seafreeze, ahead of him, up to P5, sneaks into the 1:15s. Then Swerven finishing up a lap. He will remain down in P14 to finish his lap up. Silent has finished up his qualifying. We're not sure where he's at, but he's put up a 1:15.8 in 6th place. Darth Vader, 1:15.8, shortly ahead of his teammate by just a few hundredths of a second. Forzan is invalid. Confessor improves on his lap, goes into the 1:15.3s. And he's got the pole position for now. Here comes B-Tom. He is a little bit up through Sector 3. As he comes to the line, he does not get Confessor. B-Tom in P2. Andy Wu finishing up. In P10 he goes. So that will do it. Confessor, our American Grand Prix winner and former Season 5 champion of the Platinum class, continuing to make an impressive comeback return to TCR, and he will be on pole for the sprint race. All right, so let's take a look at the qualifying results here. This sets up the sprint race. So this is not the starting order for the 50%. The 50% order will be set by the sprint race and how the sprint race ends up. There's going to be 12 laps to the sprint race. And I should remind everybody who is tuning in, and I want to thank you guys for tuning in, for 17 drivers here tonight. Hopefully this goes smoothly. We will have the 3-tire special tonight, and what that means is drivers in the 50% race will have to put on all 3 compounds at some point during the race. You can't pit on the final lap, nor can you pit 2 times on a safety car. And I want to bring up safety cars because yesterday, if you tuned in the Golden class, I was here for that, and we saw a late safety car on lap 30 of the race, and that screwed everything up when it comes to strategy. You had some people pit for fresh soft tires, so keep that in mind. These drivers will have extra sets of tires with them for the race, despite the 3-tire strategy. And what that did was Raiden was in position to win yesterday. He ended up finishing 4th after contact on the last lap, spun him out. Longtime driver, Omega, I think I saw him watching the stream today. Let me get Forzan back in here. He got his first podium in TCR yesterday. So hats off to him. He's been a long-time competitor in TCR. We'll get Forzan back in here real quick. Figured I should do that since I had a very nice gentleman invite me back to the session. So we'll get him back in here. Alright, invitation sent. Alright, now we can proceed. Hopefully Forzan gets back in here. It does disqualify you if you don't get back in here before the grid starts, but he did get his invite from me. Let's take a look at the tire strategy. Not much to look at. 12 laps. The medium tires can go 12 laps, so that is what these guys will be doing. And the top 8 only get points as we look at our predicted tire strategy. And like I said, there's no need to put that up there. There's not going to be much strategy unless we see a safety car late in the race or there's some sort of issue, calamity, in turn 1, which very well could happen. We've seen calamity in turn 1 at this track this week, in both races actually. Not off the line necessarily, but it's happened. Well, there's Confessor doing some nice Tokyo drift here. Look at this, really getting his tires warmed up. Omega, welcome. I see you in the comments there. For everybody watching, leave your predictions down. Oh, I gotta do that. Sprint race predictions. I don't know. It's all based on the start. I'm not picking Forzan. I'm not sure if he's back in here. So I'm gonna go Confessor, B-Tom, Vader. I think Forzan might... Well, I gave him an invite. Hopefully he gets back in here in the next 30 seconds. But I think it's all going to be on the start. We really don't know what these guys' race pace is like, but I'm sure Confessor's tires are going to be nice and hot. He has done a great job of warming up his tires, and I'm sure he's been going at a slower pace than B-Tom would like. B-Tom loves to fly on these starts. I want to see if anybody does burnouts here on the grid to park their cars. Usually we get that, but Cam typically is the one that does that, but unfortunately he actually is no longer a TCR driver. A longtime Platinum driver has hung it up in terms of TCR, and ooh, that's quite a way of parking their secret. That's interesting. All right, here we go for the start of the sprint race. Lights out and away we go from the sprint race. Who gets off the line? Good. Confessor gets a much better start than B-Tom as they head down to turn 1. He's going ultra defensive to keep B-Tom behind him now. Into turn 1, they remain 1-2 as many drivers are getting past the ghosted car of Forzan, including both Ferraris, one of them side by side with Seafreeze for the 4th position as he's around the outside of Silent, but he'll have to tuck into 5th for now. Behind him, we have a car going off the track a little bit. Raikkonen has lost several spots here off the start, going from 5th down to 10th, and he is the biggest loser so far on the start of this race. Behind them, it looks like things are getting a little dicey back here in the midfield. Segrist and Stanley side by side. Segrist gets the position. Oh, Raikkonen did not have a good start here for the race, and he's going to have to get a couple more spots. He will not get any points if he does not get in the top 8. So he's under pressure now from Andy Wu, but in front of them, Forzan getting overtaken by many drivers, and hopefully he can get back in here pretty soon. Nice camera angle as we take a look at the positions gained and lost. Sequit, look at him from last up to 8th. 9 spots gained on the start. Man, we'll have to get a replay of that. That might have to go on the shorts. Sequit up 9 spots off the grid. Fantastic stuff from him. Silent, it appears I can see him. In qualifying, he was literally stuck in the track in turn 1, but looks like Silent is all good. His car is not having a stroke anymore. And Forzan, yeah, the biggest loser there, losing many positions. Towards the back, you having a giggle, had issues off the start. It looks like he had to pit for a new wing. Uh-oh, Ben Swervin. He has issues. He has gone around at the end of Sector 1 out of Turn 3. And that causes a yellow in both Sector 1 and 2. No safety car, though. We are all good and ready to rumble as Forzan continuing to drop spots. Segrist gaining a few more. He's going to have to keep going up and up the grid. Raikkonen has gotten a spot back, and he needs to get one more. He got a really poor start there. I'm not sure what happened there, but he got a pretty poor start, and he needs to get something here. He hasn't gotten a podium this year, but I really think this is Raikkonen's opportunity to strike. He looked really fast in practice this week, and I think he's going to be up there if he can get things sorted out. Towards the front, nothing has changed. Confessor pulling a 0.7 of a second lead over B-Tom for that first position, and B-Tom looks to have gotten that fastest lap as trouble for Giggle yet again. here in the S's, and we saw a few spins there yesterday as there's trouble for Secret. Out of turn 1, he has gone around. So after gaining all those spots, well, all that work is for naught, but definitely hats off to him for that fantastic start that he got off the line. Check back in here with 3rd and 4th, and I mentioned the constructors earlier. Ferrari has a good chance of just about wrapping things up here tonight, depending on what Flip-Flop Fish does, and there's trouble for Secret yet again. The tires are probably screaming, and he's going to have to spend a lot of time here just cooling them down, and we saw, yep, he's going to go around again. We saw a similar situation yesterday in the Golden Class race with C. Rizzi. It really took him a long time to get the tires cooled down, and his multiple spins consecutively actually caused a safety car on lap 30. So hopefully Secret can get things back going and just salvage what he can. Remember, the sprint race does set the order for the 50%, so as much as Secret probably wants to retire right now, just finish where you're at. You're not going to be starting last as of now, so just get back going and just start where you can. But I do want to notice that things are getting kind of congested a little bit in the front 4. It looks like the Ferrari guys have started to close a little bit on the front 2, and the B-Tom is going to be patient. I'm sure that we have not seen B-Tom's true potential yet this race. You look at the battery, as well, Secret did not take my advice. He has retired in the pits. B-Tom, look at the battery, he has not touched it. Literally, has not touched it. You do drain a little bit of battery here at Hungary. Naturally, you fall down to like the low 90s. But he is starting to use it. I think he heard me a little bit. So he is going to start to pick things up here. He's only got 8 laps to go, so he's going to have to put himself in position to make a move. We saw yesterday Segrist, and he's actually the only one with a penalty right now. We saw Segrist make his move with a couple laps to go in the race yesterday, and he ended up winning the sprint race. He made the move on SPM, believe it or not, who ended up winning the race yesterday. And I want to take a look at this here. Looks like, I think we're all good. Looks like Secret's dead car came back out on track, but we're all good. Silent gets overtaken by Seafreeze in turn 1. Seafreeze looking to maybe get some more spots. You look at the positions gained and lost, he's gained a couple off the line, so Seafreeze doing a good job here in his brief return from his brief absence after missing the last few races. And like I said earlier, he was on a pretty good hot streak, nearly won 2 weeks in a row back in Canada and France. So Seafreeze still got it. He's not lost it at all. As a matter of fact, Seafreeze has been getting into marathons recently. He's been doing a lot of training for running, and that's part of the reason as to why he hasn't been showing up as much this season. I don't run marathons, but if you don't know, it takes a lot out of you. It does a lot to your feet and your legs, which are very important to racing, especially if you use a wheel. So he's a warrior, and he's going to be giving it his all here today. But he's going to have to watch out for Silent. Last week's winner, he's already dumped all the battery out onto the racetrack. I don't know if that would be a good Mario Kart move, actually. If you dump all the battery, like, if you take, like, liquid battery and just, like, you know, almost, like, treat it like banana peels and you just dump it on the competition behind you. Looks like that's what Silent is doing, as he has obliterated the battery. Last week's TCR Grand Prix winner after a thrilling finish to that race, and he really deserved it, though. Even with the late safety car, he definitely deserved to win that race. He was leading before the safety car came out, so good stuff from Silent here as the season closes out. B-Tom is getting closer, and similar to the guy who won yesterday and the guy who actually wrapped up the Golden Class Championship. Don't count out the guy who's leading the Platinum Class Championship and has won 3 of these things before. He knows how to get it done, and although he's finished runner-up 6 times this season, he has finished on the podium in every race, and he's been very consistent. And with his past experience, he knows how to get things done. Trouble for a giggle, he spins out of turn 1 for the 3rd or 4th time in this sprint race. He's averaging about 1 spin a lap, if you did not know. All right, lap 7, halfway through the race now. B-Tom slowly closing in. He started to use a little bit more of that battery, and I feel as if we saw it last week with the 5-lap races. I feel like having experience in 5-lap lobbies really pays off in these short races here today. Knowing when to use the battery in a race that is 1/3 the length of the race that we will see here in about 15 minutes or so, it's important. It's important to know when to use the battery, how much to use it when, because if you look at the battery in comparison, though, with Confessor, Confessor has been harvesting it, and he is at 83%. So B-Tom does not know that, but he may be at a disadvantage, marginally at a disadvantage at this point in the race. Check back in with 4th and 5th. Silent started to close in a little bit on Seafreeze for that position. And we saw Seafreeze get around him, but Silent may have something to think about that. Oh, there's an incident in turn 11. That's Bats Plus spinning around. And he is going to drop out of the points, down to 11th. Tough break from him. He has had a couple of tough breaks late in races here recently, so hopefully things get fixed there. But Raikkonen, we saw his poor start. He's getting those spots back. He's going to be a contender here. I think Flip Flop Fish, yeah, he had contact there with Bats Plus, and you look at his wing, he's got no right front end plate. At least the majority of it is gone, and it's going to be close. You look at Segrist, he's got a penalty in 9th place, and that 8th place is the cutoff for the sprint points. So Flip Flop has to nurse this thing home here after a contact with Bats Plus. Yeah, he's going to be hurting here through the second sector, where corner speed is the entire pace through this sector. So Andy Wu, I'm sure, is going to try and get him. He's going to have some work cut out with him now that he has that penalty. But we'll watch him through the corners here, gain all this time on Flip Flop Fish. And yeah, this is the corner where he had an incident before. I'm sure Andy Wu is going to want to make the move here. He probably knows that Flip Flop has an issue, and he gets it done without any harm or foul. So now, Flip Flop has to hold off Segrist, but really, I think he's going to have to hold off Stanley. But if he keeps doing that, it won't be an issue. He has a little bit of a slippage there in turn 13, and that puts him under pressure from Bats Plus. As they enter lap 9, Stanley blinking like a Caterpillar dump truck. Ahead of them, they're side by side for the position. Andy Wu, Segrist, Flip Flop Fish, overtaken by Segrist, who is behind Andy Wu. Behind them, Stanley, the caboose of this 4-car train, and, well, he got overtaken by Bats Plus, so now Bats looking to get 8th place here with those two guys ahead of him having penalties, but he has to get around the obstacle in the way of Flip Flop Fish here. This is essentially P7 on track with the penalties ahead of him, but he's going to have his work cut out for him in this second sector. As well, here we go, more penalties. Interesting, there really wasn't much penalties the last 2 days, but these Platinum guys are getting a lot of penalties as P9 switching hands, P10 switching hands, P11 and 12 switching hands, contact there between him and Chargers. Oh man, disaster for him. It looks like Chargers didn't anticipate him to have such a hard braking maneuver going into the corner, but obviously with not much of a front wing, there's not much Flip Flop Fish could have done, and now him and Chargers are twins when it comes to the amount of front carbon fiber they have on their cars, and uh-oh, this could get spicy here. As Seafreeze says on the Silver broadcast, things are about to get hot, spicy, and everything nice in between. Flip Flop Fish, say that 5 times fast, going to stay in line, and I'm sure these two not very pleased right now as they're both having their races up in smoke. But you look at P8 right now, net P8 is, well, looking like Bats Plus, but you look behind him, uh-oh, Segrist, yeah, he's out of this conversation. Stanley has a ways to go to get up to Andy Wu. You look at Segrist, he's roughly 3 seconds behind Andy Wu, and Stanley is roughly 2 seconds behind him, so we will see how things go with penalties as, uh-oh, here we go. Ding, ding, ding. Chargers flip-flop fish. Not the first time they've gotten together here in the last lap or so. Looks like Chargers had to go off track. You're not missing anything at the front. V-Tom has started to lose his grip on the Confessor, as we are now on lap 11 out of 12 of the race. Confessor doing what he needs to do to start on pole for the feature race, and he has done a phenomenal job in his return to TCR. He won round 10, the American Grand Prix, and he's looking to add a sprint race to his resume of TCR success. We haven't talked about Jaws much today. Dirk Shark. I call him Jaws. I think that's one of the best nicknames in TCR. But right now, we'll get back to him. I want to focus on this battle here between Beavis and Butthead. 12th and 13th going at it down in turn 2. Are they going to make contact? Yet again. No, they don't. Chargers. Nice switchback there. I almost am impressed by this battle. On equal front wing, even though they both don't have much of a front wing. But I'm going to take a look at this anyways as they go side by side in turn 4. Chargers gets pushed off the track. He gets in the flip-flop fish. Get the boxing gloves out. It's Thursday night fight night here in TCR. And we're going to get fight night underway with a helicopter view. This is what you tuned in for, ladies and gentlemen. Fight night from the helicopter. Oh, man. This is good stuff here. Oh, looks like Flip-Flop going to get a better corner here. He's going to send it down to turn 12. From the helicopter perspective, Chargers going to sit in line in 13th, and I think that's all that she wrote. P4 going to stay as is. Bats Plus maybe looking at a move for P8 on track. As they head into turn 1, it's close racing between the two of them. Looks like Seegers had trouble getting the throttle down. And he may have to stay in line in that position. That's Plus. Staying in line, but really, I mean, he's going to get a point here. He's going to get P8 when it's all said and done, so no harm, no foul. P4, Silent got close to C-Freeze, but I think he's going to stay there. At the front, I really want to check in on this. I want to see this, but we're going to have to cut to the front. The Confessor started on pole, and he is going to stay in first place as he rounds the final corner. Confessor wins the Hungarian sprint race. This battle for P12, man, I keep having to go back to it. Uh-oh, and yep, that penalty ended up demoting Darth Vader down to P5. C-Freeze ends up getting a podium here in the sprint race. He will start 3rd for the feature. B-Tom's 2nd, per usual. I hate to say that, but that's, if you include the sprint races, that is B-Tom's 8th runner-up finish in Season 15. So that's gotta be a record. But Bats Plus ends up getting the 8th and final spot for points here in the sprint race. Good for him. That battle for P12 ends up finishing with Chargers in the wall in 13th. And I'm sure there's going to be words exchanged here in the TCR Discord. I don't know. Maybe it was good racing, but I think my instincts are pretty good, as the commentator's curse tends to come into play. But Forzan, I'll get him another invite here once the results are finalized. But Ben Swervin, P15. Giggle had a disastrous race. He will start P16 for the feature. Yeah, no, I'm already going to the Discord, and if you want to join the Discord just to see what goes on in there, TrinityCompetitiveRacing.com will set you there, and you don't have to. We encourage you to sign up, but we definitely have spots available. But if you want to just look around and see what's going on, TCR Discord is the way to go. Yeah, Charles, that's a good point. Vader doesn't get penalties. That's actually a really good point. Well, he got some last week, actually. He got some last week, and he got a drive-through at the start of one of the 5-lap races to put him at the back for the feature last week. He got a 5-second penalty in the pit lane as well. He doesn't tend to get penalties, and I don't want to make assumptions, but we're getting down to the nitty-gritty of the championship, and it seems like Vader's starting to get more penalties, so I don't know. But There's the results. You see, look like Sequit had a great start. Sequit gained almost 10 spots off the line and ended up having issues, and ultimately will start last for the race. But Confessor, returning to TCR the way he started, he won the Season 5 championship, and he is returning to his glory days, starting at the front of the Hungarian Grand Prix. 3-tire special, I may add. And I believe I predicted the top 2. I said Confessor B-Tom would finish 1-2. But let me get Forzan another invite here real quick. I don't think he got back in, so let me get him in here real quick. Once we get him invited, we'll continue with the proceedings. All right. So yeah, I predicted the top 2. I said Vader would get up to P3 just because I thought Forzan, his disconnection would put him down in the grid, which it did. But hats off to Seafreeze, working his way up a few spots and getting himself a second row starting spot. And once we get the starting grid put on the screen, once we get the formation lap underway, we will do predictions. But I want to hear from you guys in the comments. Who do you have on the podium? You got any bold predictions? Any just any comments? You want to say hi? You want to tell me to F off? Leave a comment in the comment section, and I will interact. But in 15 seconds, we will begin the formation lap for the 50% feature race and 3-tire special. This is a special week, but the last 2 weeks of the year will be in Portugal and Belgium. Those will be very traditional races. Unlike what we have seen the last 2 weeks, we've seen all sorts of crazy formats, but I'm going to do predictions after we look at the strategy, because this is where things get hot and spicy. Oh boy, yeah, but you know what? We're going to go over strategy after I do my predictions, because there's a lot to analyze there. And man, I keep predicting B-Tom to win, but I feel like he just can't keep finishing in second. You know what? No, maybe that's the problem. I'm picking him to win. I'm going to go Confessor. Well, no, I don't like the strategy he's on. I'm going to go with... that's true. I'll go with Confessor. I'll go with Confessor to win. I think I like his pace. But you look at the predicted tire strategy at the bottom of your screen. That is what they prefer. Interesting. The 2-stop is what you're going to do here. They said to start on softs. I don't agree. I really don't think B-Tom is going to finish second again. He's not going to finish second for the 3rd week in a row, is he? No. I'm going to go with Silence. I'm going to go with him with an unconfident P2. And then I'll go B-Tom P3. So we'll do Confessor, Silence. So I think Silence is going to use his momentum from last week. I like the fact that he's starting on the hards. You know, maybe it'll work out for him. I'm going to go with him P2, and I'll go B-Tom P3. I'll take Seafreeze P4. He looked quick in practice and time trial, just from what I've heard, but Silent, he was starting to close in on Seafreeze there as the race ended, so that's just how I feel. You know, Seafreeze maybe will prove me wrong. And to be fair, I did put Seafreeze on the podium in France when he started last, so I think I'm obligated to bet against him this week. Several drivers starting on the softs, several drivers on the mediums, and several on the hards. 3-tire strategy here tonight for 35 laps, and possibly the biggest attendance we have seen thus far this season. And Andy Wu can't park. Ben Swerven parks nicely. And Secret going to start. Oh, yeah, you can't do that this time around. The game got you this time. All right, here we go for round 12 of the Platinum class. This is quite the view. 5 lights on the grid. Lights out and away we go from the Hungarian Grand Prix. Who gets off the line good? Confessor gets a blinding start. B-Tom gets a very poor start. He is going to get split in the middle. They're sandwiching. Seafreeze has to go off the track slightly. They get away with it somehow as they head down to turn 1. Look at this mess. The Ferrari's going into 2nd and 4th, but pressure now from B-Tom, who had a terrible start, and he's under pressure from Dirk Shark in 5th position. Dirk Shark has to back out of it, and that has Bats Plus closing in on him. Segrist is going to close in on him as they head into turn 4. He rides the curbs, goes off the track, and spins out into the wall. That does not surprise me. I did that in practice this week. That does not surprise me. It's easy to ride the curbs, and Segrist has a terrible start. He spins out in turn 4. What a start that was. And you want to look at the, Segrist, yeah, he might be calling it quits already here. 10-second penalty. Forzan, I'm not sure if Forzan is here, but, Segrist retires on track, that's not good. And that is a virtual safety car. Yep. So, yep, we encourage people not to retire on track in TCR. I will say he did have a good outing in Golden Class yesterday, but that does not make up for the fact that you just parked it on the racetrack and just walked out of your car on the track. You pulled a Josh Williams, if you will, from NASCAR. You don't want to do that. You see him on the map there in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen. Do not leave the track while racing. They teach you this while driving rental cars. Do not do that. This, I thought maybe some people would pit there. Just because it looks like everyone is being smart, though. Just a virtual safety car, thank God. It was just a virtual. But that does shake things up a little bit, just because things tend to fluctuate in terms of the gap when you have a VSC. And the fact that there's a VSC, and it's going to go for a little bit longer, but we should be closing up here on the end of it. And you know what? This is a good time to look at the positions gained and lost. Yeah, B-Tom had a terrible start. You don't see that often from him, but he had a lot of wheel spin, loses 3. Dirk Shark is battling with him for position as we're back underway. He had a great start, going up 4 spots, and Sequit yet again having, trouble for Ben Swervin. Sequit had a great start last race, as long as he can just stay where he's at, because last race he had some difficulties. And at the front, Darth Vader rebounding from his penalty from the sprint race. He's up in the 2nd, and with the Drivers' Championship here, 23 points. And I do want to keep in mind that B-Tom did gain some points in the sprint race, just a few. But he is getting some points back here on Silent. I think Silent had a poor turn 14. He's now under pressure from Dirk Shark after getting overtaken by B-Tom. But as they stand right now, I think things are going to be just about equal as they came into the race, because B-Tom gained some in the sprint race, Vader gaining some now. It's going to be around 20 points, but obviously we have about 30 laps to go, so hold on to your hats. This is not even close to over. Yes, Silent looked like he had some sort of a mistake there off the final corner. Got overtaken by B-Tom and Dirk Shark. Keep in mind, Dirk Shark is on that really fast soft tire, so I think that's part of the reason as to why he got off the line so well and has gained so many spots. But you can only have such a long stint on the soft tires. You know what they say, when you're on the top, there's no place you can go but down. And this may be Dirk Shark's peak here. Maybe he gets another spot, but very soon, it might be starting now, Dirk Shark will collapse. I don't want to be dramatic, but his pace will fall off here very shortly. As Confessor's pace not falling off yet. He is on that same tire, and wow, he's got the pace. Yeah, he's almost 3 seconds ahead of Darth Vader after 4 laps. If you do the math, he's on pace to win by about 30 seconds. 8th place, Andy Wu gets ahead of Stanley. Those two going at it, and Stanley probably wants to get that spot. Oh, that makes me cringe. Well, actually, there was a point on Tuesday where I had to go on the curbs there. I was side by side with Carson, and I was fearing for my life. Trouble! Ben Swervin retires on track out of turn 1. The verdict says no safety car or VSC. But both Alpines are out of the race. It was a short outing from Beavis and Butthead, but they are both out after 4 laps. Let's take a look at, well, we have teammates right here. 13th, 14th. Well, Giggle is a temporary teammate. I like that helmet. That gives me Max Verstappen vibes a little bit there. But he is battling with his temporary teammate, Andy Wu, Stanley, exchanging hands yet again. Stanley up into 8th. But don't look now, Raikkonen. Man, Raikkonen, yeah, man, he has not gotten the best starts today. I know he has the pace, but he just hasn't gotten the starts. And I think maybe this race is just because he's on the hards, but he lost 4 spots there, so that's not good. Chargers, it has not been a great outing from him thus far. And he's going to pit off the hards. And put on softs. Okay, interesting. Don't think okay, well that explains it then. He probably had dinner reservations. Yeah, he just wanted to get the pit stop in before he retired. He wanted to make sure his pit crew was getting their paychecks worth, but with this game, as you can see right there, what goes in comes out of the pit lane, and he got spat back out on the track, and well, there's no close gap, so we'll watch him here at park here, off track. Yep, that's how it's done. Chargers is peacing out. He's going and he's pulling up a lawn chair, and he's going to pull an Alonso. He's just going to sit around and hang out. Maybe he'll watch the stream and leave a comment. Uh-oh. Sequit might have to leave a comment soon if he keeps doing that. He spins, and... oh no! What happened? Yellow, I think that was no harm, no foul. I got scared because I saw Vader drop spots there, but he's actually going to be the first one to pit off the soft tires. So he's going to be coming in early, trying to get an undercut. He's going on the hards. I recommend that for his strategy. I think that's a good call. Sequit, yeah, that's what I thought. He's done. It's a shame, too. I will try and get footage of his start from the sprint race. He had a really good start. He gained 9 spots in 1 lap, but it's all for naught. And he is peacing out. Already 4 drivers out of the race. Interesting. 17 people showed up, and really looked like all 4 of them. I didn't see Ben swerving, but it looks like all these guys are just kind of peacing out. So it's a long way to go. I mean, I don't understand that, but gotta do what you gotta do. If you have dinner reservations, or you need to go take care of errands, you need to go tend to your wife, then I guess leave. But otherwise, stick around. Bats Plus pressuring Dirk Shark, and yep, this is the point where, like I said before, Dirk Shark is having his collapse. Maybe not as dramatic as the collapse of the Roman Empire, but Dirk Shark, it looked like he was going to pit there, but we'll watch Bats Plus overtake him here. Should be a pretty easy move. They may be side by side in turn 1 here. No, he's got the spot. Alright, Stanley in the pits. He is going to be the next person to sacrifice their soft tires, and he will put on the white hard tires. Forzan, I think Forzan is here. That's just... he's ghosted, but I don't know. I feel as if I feel like the game would have disqualified him by now. So, yep. I think he's here, but I don't know. Who knows? Raikkonen. Like I said, Raikkonen, he's gotten 4 starts, but you look at here, he's already he's gained a couple spots from pit cycle, but he has gained a couple just by getting spots back, and it looks like he's trying to get 1 on Andy Wu, so we'll keep an eye out for that. Towards the front, Seafreeze, as of now, P2 on track, and man, I feel like if I know he's won a race this year, but I really feel like if he races all the way out through the end of the season, he might get another one, because he's been really good when he showed up recently. Confessor, race leader in the pits, to put on, survey says, hard tires. That is, I recommend that. I recommend that. I think if you start on the softs, you want to take a long stint on the hards. That way you finish with a kind of faster tire, but we'll see where Darth Vader comes out in comparison to him. He's going to come out probably around a second behind when it's all said and done, just because he has to get his tires, Confessor has to get his tires warmed up, so it might not be a second, it might actually be 2 seconds, but Darth Vader will gain a little bit more time here through Sector 1, and then Confessor will be off and away. Up, and away. Just like the grandpa said, and up, and up. I think he said that, right? I heard they're coming out with a Up 2. That's what I heard. I almost feel like that movie doesn't deserve a sequel. That's just my opinion, but I'm one of those that likes new ideas, you know. There's too many sequels, too many revisions nowadays in pop culture in general, and you see a lot of songs being covered nowadays. I'm not the biggest fan of it, so just a personal opinion, but P5, we mentioned this battle between Raikkonen and Andy Wu getting close, and you know what? Raikkonen might get this move done right here. He's draining the battery. He has DRS, but not quite close enough. He will have another chance in turn 2, as there is a... Oof, don't get too close. There is a very brief DRS zone right here. Might be the shortest DRS zone in Formula 1. It's kind of unnecessary, honestly. But you know what? 5 years from now, every track is going to have 10 DRS zones, so that doesn't really bother me. But, oh, flip-flop might have had an issue there. Sideways out of turn 3, it's really tempting to go flat out through there, but during the race, you really don't want to do that. So. Or if you do, you really want to have like the perfect line through there, and even then, I don't think you can get that done. But Raikkonen definitely showing better pace in comparison to Andy Wu, and you can only drain the battery so much here, and yeah, Raikkonen is eager to get by him. Because the battery here drains really quickly. So, we will watch Raikkonen try for a second time to get around Andy Wu. Yeah, no, Charles, he got several invites. Yeah, this game blows. P5, Raikkonen, Andy Wu, finally swapping hands, and I'm sure Raikkonen will be off to the races after that, as long as Andy Wu doesn't make a move here in turn 2, but I don't think he's close enough. So Andy Wu will settle in P6, but don't look now. Flip-flop fish looking to get by him here for that spot. We saw him and his new arch nemesis Chargers had a little squander in the sprint race. Might have been all good, might have been just a little bit of fun, but they were banging wheels and banging wings. They were doing a lot there in the sprint race. Chargers, he doesn't have to worry about anymore, but he has to worry about these two in front of him. So, yeah, Flip-Flop looking like, in his return, looking like he's in for a decent outing here today. And Andy Wu, yeah, you notice Andy Wu's been a little bit more aggressive with the battery. That's trying to keep as much pace as he can here. And I don't recommend that, just because the battery here is impossible to gain back. And you really don't even gain that much back in the pits either. So Flip-Flop will give it a go. He's got DRS, gonna use a hint of battery, but probably going to be patient and wait for his move. You know, I know he's conserving, and I applaud him for that, but looks like he's quite faster than Andy Wu here. So if I were him, I would start using a little bit of battery to get the move done here shortly. Just because the hards are going to start falling off within the next few laps, and as a matter of fact, we may be seeing the leaders come in very shortly. The Seafreeze being the race leader on the medium tires, with B-Tom 2 seconds behind him. Yeah, this surprises me from B-Tom. I know he got a poor start, but he hasn't really gained much on Seafreeze. So, well, maybe it looked like he was pushing there out of turn 11, but it's a long race. There's a lot of strategy involved, but you got to remember, B-Tom has been on the podium every race this season. I feel like I've become a broken record, but it's one of those things to where it's so rare to see somebody go an entire season finishing on the podium in every race. And as a matter of fact, he and SBM are the only two drivers in TCR right now that still have been able to say that they've done that. And, well, unironically, they are both leading their respective championships. So, consistency wins. P6, Flip-Flop gets that move done on Andy Wu, and I can imagine he will keep that. Quick shout out to Bats Plus. Uh-oh, jeez. Whoa, silent. Dear God, don't scare me like that. Bats Plus looking to gain a little bit more track position now with Silent's brief mistake. He's in P4. He's on the mediums. He's going to be pitting here shortly. He has gained 4 spots off the line. Pretty impressive. Second best to Flip-Flop, who has gained 6. And you know what? He is gaining on Raikkonen, so Flip-Flop has the pace. He had issues there in the sprint race, but I'm sure if it weren't for that, Flip-Flop could be having podium speed, and he might get Raikkonen here very shortly if Raikkonen keeps getting sideways on corner exit the way he just did out of turn 11. And Flip-Flop could be setting himself up for a move here quite shortly. Bats Plus in DRS range of Silent here on lap 13 of the race. And this is good for him because his tires are falling off in comparison to Silent's, or we think they are, but if Silent keeps driving the way he did in this corner the previous lap, then they will be on equal tires. Flip-Flop showing a pretty good pace. The fact that he hasn't touched the battery at all and he's gained 6 spots, I'm really impressed. Uh-oh, Silent has spun out! That is out of turn 5. Yeah, we saw he was pushing there within the past couple of laps, and that is going to put him behind the 8 ball. And he really now has to be careful of not spinning out again. The tires here are brutal. It takes a while for them to cool down after a spin, and Andy Wu looking to feast on this opportunity and maybe get a spot back. He may have to wait till the front straightaway if he wants to do so, but big mistake from Silent. That will put him in jeopardy of not being in the podium, and that's probably because I picked him to go on the podium. Go figure. Bats Plus in the pits. First one off the medium tire, and I'm sure B-Tom and Seafreeze will proceed to follow him in very shortly. Survey says soft tire. Interesting. So Bats Plus will be the guy here for the next 5 or so laps. Where's he going to come out? Right ahead of Dirk Shark, and soft tires take a little bit quicker to warm up in comparison to the other tires. So I don't think Dirk Shark will not have enough time to get up there while he's warming up those tires. Bats Plus seems to have already warmed them up as he is going to be off to the races. Confessor. And now this is interesting here. So you see he is starting to close in on traffic, and he is the net race leader of the race, but he's going to have to get by these guys who have yet to pit. So, and just by looking at the pace, it looks like he's probably slower than these guys. So we'll check in on him, but for now, here is the medium tire runners. B-Tom, Seafreeze in the pits. What will they do? Survey says B-Tom, hard tires. Seafreeze, hard tires. Great minds think alike. But take a look at what this does. Raikkonen, Flip-Flop, still yet to pit. Raikkonen cycles through to the lead. Uh-oh, we have a yellow. I think they really just gave a yellow for B-Tom, it looked like. That's crazy. Darth Vader, though, this is going to be interesting. Championship guys, side by side into turn 2. Oh, man, that was tight. They somehow keep it straight. This is going to be a good fight. We're going to stay here. Darth Vader going into this race, 23 points behind. Confessor gets a penalty. That will impact the end of this race. Darth Vader came into this race after having a bad week in Italy, 23 points behind Vader. So Vader, I can imagine, is going to race B-Tom like a bully here. I think it will be fair racing, but if I were in Vader's shoes, B-Tom is not getting by me. I am preventing this from happening as much as possible. Because this really, I mean, this season could be astronomically different depending on what happens today. If B-Tom gets a 30-plus point gap going into next week, he essentially has to finish ahead of Vader and the championship is over. But if Vader is able to win the race today, everything is different. So we're going to keep an eye on this battle here. Down to turn 1. Vader going to give him the inside line. Contact slightly. They keep it straight. Vader going to pressure him. He's going to use all the battery he has. But he is going to have to tuck in line. B-Tom was able to get the move done. And yeah, Vader was kind of a losing battle there, but I would have at least tried to go defensive there. I would have done something different just because that was too easy. P2 switching hands, Confessor with the penalty that may impact his race, but he gets by silent pretty easily. Now Bats Plus is going to have the pleasure of battling the guys who are in a heated battle for the championship. What's going to happen? Find out in about 15 seconds. Only on Trinity Competitive Racing on YouTube. Yeah, Bats Plus probably going to want to get at least this move done on him. Raikkonen, race leader in the pits to take off his hard tires. That gives the lead back to Confessor. In the midfield, battery, DRS, overtake, complete. That was pretty easy. So Bats Plus now in P5, and he can really do some damage here for the time being. He can maybe get up to B-Tom. I know B-Tom just pitted, but softs versus hards, man, it's quite a difference there. So B-Tom could still be under pressure from a guy here at this point in the race. Silent with a penalty, man, interesting. Vader answers with a penalty. Ferrari guys think alike. Teammates following each other, unfortunately, in these circumstances, and that will hurt both of their races. Yeah, interesting though. Golden and Silver. I know that there's more people here tonight than Golden and Silver had combined the last 2 days, but we didn't see any penalties from those guys. These are the Platinum guys, you know? Like, it surprises me because we saw a lot of penalties in the sprint race too today. Like, I'm kind of surprised by this, but Seafreeze going to want to make this move here on silent pretty shortly. He's going to dump the battery, and he is going to have to go to the outside as Silent made a defensive maneuver, but all for naught. Seafreeze, P2. And, well, you know what? He might be P1 here very shortly, so we will keep our eyes glued on this battle. But for now, we got to check in with the Fish. He gets the move done on Stanley. Yep, he's got that move done. So flip-flop, making up some spots. Bats Plus still not within DRS range of B-Tom, and there's a little bit of a pace gap just between those two, just in general, but I can imagine here, that might be a small commentator's curse right there. Bats Plus may not be getting in DRS range after all, so sorry, Bats. That was bad timing. I said yesterday in the Golden Class race that I'm going to make a compilation this year at the end of the season of TCR commentators' curses. I'm sure I will be probably 90% of that video, but I think that's just some good content to have. I think it's really important to keep content flowing throughout the season, especially for a league like us, because we've kind of pumped out all the content thus far with our shorts, which you can go check out here on the YouTube channel. If you're watching on the YouTube side of things, we have many fun, entertaining shorts that have a lot of views. some of them have gone viral. As a matter of fact, we have a video from last season which eclipsed 23,000 views on Instagram. It literally went viral. So go check out all of our socials. I feel like that doesn't get talked about enough. We praise the website, the merch. We don't praise our socials enough, so go check that out. P10. Switching hands, Andy Wu, Stanley side by side. Stanley not going to give it to him too easily, but he has to lift going into turn 4. A good little action there for the last point spot. This battle heating up. Silent, whoa, that looked sketchy, but it looked like Silent was being nice, and he gave B-Tom the position there. Interesting. So he went defensive for C-Freeze, but he pulled over for B-Tom. Got it. All right, cool. Spat Plus going to come into the pits to, if my memory serves me correctly, to put on, well, let's just see right here what he's going to do. He's going to put on the, I'm just guessing, yeah, the hard tires. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yep, so that really starts to calm things down. Everybody will be on mediums and hards for the most part, except for Andy Wu, who is closing in on Raikkonen, so we could see a battle shaping up here very shortly. I don't know what that was. Hold on a minute. Did he back out there on the straightaway? I heard a pause there. Let me look back on that. Maybe I'm overreacting and he just lifted, but I heard a little pause in the volume there. Let's take a look at his telemetry. Oh, interesting. Okay, so Andy Wu, yeah, good eye, Camden. Oof. Yep, good eye. Commentator's curse, always coming into play there. Andy Wu double shifted coming out of turn 1. He went to go from 5th to 6th, and he accidentally went up to 7th. And he had to go back down to 6th, so that was a good little moment there. I don't see that happen too often, but that's what happened there. For the lead, C-Freeze, looking to get this done. He might send it right now, and he's going to really send it on Confessor in turn 1. He wants to get this done pronto. He wants to get this done now. In the turn 2, he's going to think about it last second. He gets in the Confessor, and Confessor and him collide in turn 2. Oh my goodness. Yep. I hate to say it, but that was all on C-Freeze there. Late move. I don't think there was much Confessor could have done there. So yeah, and really C-Freeze he spun him out, then he kind of pushed him out of the way. Insult to injury there. Just kick a man while he's down, I guess. Yeah, no, that was bad. I'm sure we're going to see something in the stewards afterwards, because from what I saw, and I had a pretty good view of it, I don't think C-Freeze had the gap. So that's just my opinion. But Stanley, he's also being naughty. He is getting a penalty. We're going to have to take him and C-Freeze out back. Don't ask me what happens out back, but that's what's happening. Ooh, do we have a helicopter view? We haven't had that. Uh-oh, it's about to end here in about 2 seconds. I gotta play it real quick. See, yep. I was slacking there, but we don't get many helicopter opportunities, so had to get that in there. Dirk Shark in the pits. Whoa! 52 miles an hour into 50. You should have been busted for speeding there, but I forgot this was a American highway, where getting pulled over for speeding really doesn't exist anymore. Honestly, like, you have to go like 20 miles an hour over to get pulled over nowadays, and it showed Dirk Shark was going 52 when he hit the pit limiter line, but the game tells me otherwise, as Stanley in the pits as well. He's going to put on mediums and take those to the end. And he will be up, and away. Maybe he won't. That has happened too many times here today. Alright, Confessor. Ooh, I thought I saw something there. Confessor. Probably a little furious, and I'm sure there's going to be something in the chat afterwards, but he's going to try to recover as much as he can and get by Vader. And this is for position. They are on the same strategy. So, and really, if you look at the penalties, this is even. They both have 3 seconds. So, this is a even matchup between two equally fast drivers. What will Confessor do? Oh, it looked like he thought about it there, but he's going to stay in line. He's not going to pull a C-freeze. And looks like he's going to have to stay in line here in turn 2 as well. Andy Wu going to pit off the softs. He is our last driver to pit off the softs at the midway point of the race, and he is going to take the mediums to the end. Checking with Jaws. He's going to be taking those hards to the end, it looks like, and he's in for a pretty decent finish. You look at the points going into today, and keep in mind he is a rookie driver in the Platinum class this season. He is P16 in the standings, and you know, I will say he has missed a couple of races, but he has been pretty good the last few weeks. He's finished 8th, 8th, and 7th. The 7th is his best finish of the year, so right now, Dirk Shark looking like he's about to continue that consistent streak of getting points every week, and he's had a pretty good run thus far. Pretty solid run. So, Dirk Shark was very quick last year in the Golden class, and he was one of many drivers that got moved up, and I'm sure it was deserved. I'm sure he'll grow here in the Platinum class. P3 switching hands. Confessor gets a nice overtake done on Darth Vader for that spot. Silent in the pits. He had that spin in turn 5 earlier. He's going to be taking the mediums to the end of the race. Where's he going to come out? Well, he's going to come out pretty decently behind Bats Plus, and he does have a penalty, so really, he's upwards of 5 seconds behind him. He does have a nice gap over Dirk Shark. Dirk Shark, essentially 5 seconds back. P10, Giggle, reserving here tonight. Oh, look at this battle here. He's losing 2 spots now between turns 1 and 2. Not a good set of corners for Giggle. He falls down to P12, but he is reserving here tonight. Golden class driver. Longtime member of TCR, and I just want to shout out Omega again. Speaking of longtime TCR drivers, we value that. You know, people who stick around despite the results they've gotten. And Omega, been a longtime driver. He almost won the race yesterday and finished a very solid P2 in the Golden class race yesterday. So I just want to shout him out again. Darth Vader, next one to come into the pits, and he will be good to the end of the race. Where will he come out? Comes out behind his teammate and in front of Dirk Shark. And he also has a penalty, so he's got a little bit of a setback here at this point in the race, but we'll see where things cycle. Giggle, next in line to participate in the game of the pit lane. That's a good camera angle. I wish they would have this camera angle more often. You know what? I haven't used my clock today. The next driver to pit, and I really don't know if anyone's going to be. Yeah, I don't know who's going to be pitting here. But if we have somebody else pit, I do have a new sound effect that will come into play. So keep things in check for that. Trouble for Giggle. Looks like he had an issue. And V-Tom going to be lapping Forzan. I did give Forzan invites, many of them. So. I do not live in Virginia. No, I don't. Definitely not. I've only been there a couple times, but ooh, here's a helicopter view. We're gonna get that on the broadcast before we do any other sound effects, as we ride on board with Confessor from up above. And yeah, he had the incident with Seafreeze, has the penalty. It's probably because I picked him to win the race, honestly, so that's my bad. But he might be. We'll see where he ends up, but he's still looking to get a good finish. when it's all said and done. You know, he's getting points. Not that it really matters at this point in the season for him, but any type of good finish is good. And that's interesting. He takes 7th gear through there. I usually take 6th. Giggle has retired in the pits. Wait a minute. Wait. That's not in the pits. That's on track. That is on track. Safety car for you having a Giggle off the final corner. That is 2 days in a row of a late safety car here in TCR, and what that does is it allows Seafreeze to have a free pit stop. And I'm sure there's going to be more participants behind him. Confessor in the pits, along with Flip Flop Raikkonen. Raikkonen really is going to win out here big time. After having a poor start, having to make up a lot of spots, he's going to be starting reasonably towards the front here. He's not going to be starting ahead of Bats Plus, though. Bats Plus staying out. And, oh boy, B-Tom staying out. Yeah, if the pit lane were right here, he could probably pit and get away with it, but yeah, no, this is not good for B-Tom. Seafreeze. Man, of course, right? The week I take him off the podium, right? I was back and forth on it too. I was like, Seafreeze gonna finish on the podium today. Seafreeze might win this race, but that is before Stewards. And I'm sure, I don't know, but I really believe Seafreeze might be at fault for that incident between he and Confessor, but we have to judge things as they are in the present. So as of now, Seafreeze looking like he could return to victory. And man, I'm telling you, like, obviously, like, Seafreeze, he's a 3-time champion. We all know what he can do. He's the all-time winner in TCR, but I really feel like this season is a what-if for him. Almost every week where things haven't gone wrong for him and he showed up, he's been in contention. So here we go. B-Tom is going to, in my opinion, make the right decision and come in and pit. Where will he come out? And I think he got unlucky there in timing with the safety car. It looked like he was just passing the pit lane, and he is going to start in P6, which honestly, not the worst thing in the world, but he is starting behind his championship rival. So Vader looked to have been very nice to him earlier in the race. I'm sure he's not going to be as friendly, because this is the battle for the championship. And Vader has a penalty, and he's on mediums, so this will be spicy. Spicy. It will be ghost pepper spicy, as a matter of fact. But Flip Flop, you know what? I know that he and B-Tom aren't permanent teammates, but maybe B-Tom is going over the radio, the McLaren radio, and he's going, hey, Flip Flop, hey, so I'm in a championship battle right now with the guy that's in front of you, and I would really appreciate it if, in your return, you could sacrifice this one spot for me, because I'm B-Tom, and I gotta keep my podium streak going. I should continue the rest of the stream like this, whispering. Seafreeze looks like he's gonna win the race. Confessor looks like he's not. Oh, you know what? Confessor and Seafreeze had their incident earlier. Confessor might wreck him in turn 1. I haven't thought about that until now. I will not do that the rest of the broadcast. For your benefit and mine, viewers. Oh, whoa, hang on there, Confessor. Oh, doing too much to keep the tires warmed up. Yeah, Confessor, I think in the future you should just, like, keep a campfire, like, on the front wing of your car. Maybe that will help. But no, wait a minute though, Camden, you gotta think. If the driver is driving on track, the campfire is going to blow out. So you should almost have like a candle. Like that is like covered up. Maybe that will work. Yeah, keep like a bunch of candles on the front of your front wing, Confessor. And maybe that will warm up your tires better. That way you don't have to go into a literal Tokyo drift. Because you almost took out yourself and your temporary teammate. Oh, okay, this is good. So, it is time to restart this race in 2 sectors from now. Seafreeze, looking to find the right time to accelerate, to get an advantage on the rest of his competition. That's the newest sound effect that I have come up with, and I mean, I am the third voice of TCR, so I don't plan on going anywhere anytime soon. I think you're unfortunately going to see me for season 16 and beyond, so I'll come up with new ideas as time goes on. I'm really glad we had this safety car. I've been able to really come up with a lot of new ideas here, but yeah, some idiot. Actually, no, you're Lawrence. That's your name. You're Lawrence. Yeah, safety car definitely coming in this lap. I agree. Look at all these comments, man. I have not been keeping up. And yep, we're going back green here on lap 29. Very reminiscent of late safety car yesterday, as you mentioned in the comments there, Meb. B Tom behind Flip Flop. They both could end up getting a podium when it's all said and done because of penalties. For now, Seafreeze accelerates and we are back underway. He gets a pretty good launch ahead of Confessor, but honestly, Confessor had a good start as well. Look at this for P3. Darth Vader is going to make an incredible send on Bats Plus for the position. Did he just do that? Oh my god, he made that work. That was phenomenal. For P4, though, Flip Flop sees the opportunity around the outside of Bats Plus. Bats Plus is getting mobbed by these drivers. He might get overtaken 3 times here. B-Tom to the inside in turn 4, and he smartly backs out of it. That could have been disastrous. B-Tom going to try again here in turn 5. There's contact. He's not being given much room now. He's off in the grass as they head into the chicane side by side. He pushes him wide and gets the spot. Meanwhile, P7 switching hands. Raikkonen silent in the P7. And he's behind Bats Plus. Boy, this has been a terrible restart for Bats Plus, but he stayed out, and that's what he gets. So, how the cookie crumbles sometimes. But we check in here with Flip Flop, and in his return, Flip Flop Fish looking for not just the podium, but a second place finish. And you know what, though? If I were Seafreeze, I would go. You don't want to risk the penalty, potential penalty, factoring into things. He could just clear them by 5 seconds, and it won't even really factor in, I don't think. P6, Silent gets a spot, but remember, he has a penalty as well, so we'll see where things end up in terms of the final running order. Raikkonen as well. Raikkonen looking for a decent finish, and I'm sure he'll be happy, but he had really good pace in practice, and maybe looking for a little bit more here today, but nonetheless, it's been a great effort from Raikkonen today. Just had kind of poor starts. I think that was his Achilles heel. Otherwise, he had pretty good pace. Check back in. Whoa, that was... he almost hit the grass there. Maybe that was just me freaking out. Being a driver myself, I see everything. Ahead of him, Dirkshire goes around. I saw that, and he removes his front wing. That was a good camera angle there. Only a Sector 3 yellow, no safety car, but that's a shame for Dirkshire. He was in for some good points. DRS is active. This is when things continue to change. We haven't gotten a B-Tom Vader battle yet, and honestly, I don't know if we will, if he can't get by Flip Flop here very shortly. But with that penalty, though, B-Tom will be finishing ahead of him in the running order. P7, Raikkonen wants to be the next person to pass him. Oh, he has to think twice of where he wants to go. He's going to go outside. And he has to sit in line for the time being. P4, I'm sure B-Tom wants to get by him here. And not only that, but B-Tom's podium streak is in big jeopardy if he can't get by, because Confessor has a penalty, but he's a ways up the road. So this, yeah, B-Tom just needs to get by Flip Flop if he wants to guarantee himself a podium here in this race. So, Flip-Flop, though, what a return. It's been a while since he raced. He's a long-time driver in this league, and he's going to return with a podium if he can just keep doing what he's doing here and not make any mistakes. It's looking like it's going to be in his favor, but he may have to battle B-Tom here as they approach turn 14 to enter the front straightaway, the best overtaking spot of this track, and B-Tom is going to drain the battery. He's gaining marginally on Flip-Flop Fish. He's going to send it in turn 1. He gets a nose inside of him, but Flip-Flop keeps it for now. It was a good, clean dive bomb. Not as good as Vader's on that safety car restart. He absolutely sent it on Bats Plus and made it work. Okay, so I know Seafreeze looked like he was going to pull away, and it's looking like it's in his favor, but Confessor might be on the faster tire right now. And Confessor is not going to win this race on track, but who knows? With following steward decisions, maybe he will, but if he can get the Seafreeze, I bet he'll send it. So, it's not over, but Seafreeze looking like he's going to return to the top step of the podium after an up-and-down season for him. Ooh, look at this! Ooh. Is Andy Wu not in here? Oh, crap. For what was that? Maybe I think he had a little bit of an issue. I think that's all that was. Alright, here we go. Can B-Tom try it again? He's going to use the battery and be aggressive yet again. Flip-Flop doing the same. Here's B-Tom in turn 1 as Flip-Flop goes defensive. He pushes him a little bit towards the outside of the track, and B-Tom yet again has to stay in line. I bet this is killing B-Tom. These three are nose to tail. Front 2 almost nose to tail. Seafreeze is less than 2 laps away from doing what he did at the start of season 15. He was looking to go for a 4th record-breaking championship. It has been an up-and-down season for him, plagued by injury and other circumstances. But in his return, Seafreeze is showing he has not lost anything. This is a legitimate battle for the win right here. These two got into it earlier in the race. What is going to happen as they enter the final lap? Confessor using the battery. He has DRS. We are on the final lap of the race. Confessor going to look for a move. Down the inside, he's going to send it on Seafreeze. Seafreeze using what he's got left. He's going to do the same move he tried earlier in the race, which did not work out. But he falls in line behind him. Confessor, though, with the penalty, as of now, he's not going to win this race. B-Tom still could not get that move done on Flip-Flop Fish for that position, and looking like Flip-Flop could steal a podium away from B-Tom and deny B-Tom's perfect podium season. But Flip-Flop looking to possibly at least get by Darth Vader, because Darth Vader is really holding both of them up, which honestly is not the worst strategy in the world, believe it or not. We're going to watch these three now heading down to turn 12. B-Tom trying to make a move. He has to go outside. Look at these three here. There's contact between all three of them. Flip-Flop Fish spins out. These two are side by side now for position on the racetrack. Oh, and they both go off the track. Unbelievable. At the front, Seafreeze wins round 12 the Hungarian Grand Prix after a crazy race. He returns to the top step of the podium, and look at this mess as they come to the line. Oh my God. B-Tom got away with homicide. He continues his podium streak, and man, I don't know. I don't even know what happened, honestly. There was contact between him, Vader, and Flip-Flop, and Flip-Flop somehow still ends up with a 4th place finish, but that was ugly. Seafreeze, through all of that, is your round 12 winner of the Hungarian Grand Prix, doing what he did in round 1 of the season. TCR's all-time leading scorer gets another one, and he just adds on to his already impressive resume, as of now being the GOAT of TCR, and the GOAT returns to the top step of the podium after, like I said, I'm literally out of breath. That, man, things escalated so quickly. I mean, all of a sudden you had the battle for the lead, and then the championship guys getting into it, and we're going to hear from one of them, and B-Tom will extend his championship lead, and he puts himself, as of now, I mean, I don't even know what's going to happen with penalties, but as of now, B-Tom is in a good spot to wrap things up in Portugal next week, but oh man, that yeah, we're just gonna have to hear from B-Tom and just hear his perspective from things, because that was quite unbelievable. And yeah, safety cars, man, 2 days in a row, the safety car really mixes things up. Freeze gets the win, and you know what? He kind of wasn't going to race initially. He decided to race midweek this week as attendance was low at first, and then it dramatically escalated. But yeah, no, that was unbelievable. What is it with last lap finishes here in this class? I am privileged to be able to commentate this class. That's nuts. But I would like to do an interview here with everybody on Discord, so we're gonna try and I have to add a confessor. Where is he on this list? Let's look him up here. Where is he? Let's find the confessor. Oh, that's his. Yep, we'll get him added. We'll make sure he's added, because I would like to do this all in one call, make things easier. But what a finish from the Platinum Class guys. We'll get these guys in. Once we get everyone in here, which I will do right now. Unbelievable finish. A little controversial, but we'll see what happens in the end. Looks like we have 2 of them right now. And yep, we will start this interview up right now. We will do that and start things regardless of who's in here. So yeah, that was quite unbelievable, and we will get everybody in here very shortly. That was round 12, the Hungarian Grand Prix, and I know that there's been commentators on here that have done like 1-word summaries, 3-word summaries. I don't know if you can summarize this race in any sort of capacity. Everything that went down, it was just absolutely nuts. So we will. Yep, looks like we got 2 of them in here. Trying to get Confessor added. We might have to wait towards the end, but you know what? We do have our 3rd place finisher here, so we will start out with B-Tom, and you were able to gain points on Vader in the championship. That's the big picture, but what in the hell happened there on the final lap? I could only keep up with so much of it.
Honestly, I don't know. It all happened pretty quickly. I think Flip-Flop was going for a move on Professional. Professional went wide. I tried a slightly different line because I saw Flip-Flop was going for the move, and I didn't want to get involved if they touched. And then we all kind of touched, and I guess Flip-Flop spun. And then I don't want to assume that they tried to take me out, but it's hard to justify any other reason for what transpired afterwards. But I'm sure you saw professional flying off the track in the penultimate corner and hitting me, almost putting me in the wall. And then Silent slowed down to let professional through, I think, and then he tried to take me out. At least that's what I think he did, because he turned left in a right-hander. It was very clear. And then same thing at the start-finish straight. Professional just swung right to the left at the end. Like, he was ahead, and then he just slowed down and turned hard left. So I imagine there's going to be quite a bit of decisions to be made in the steward stream, because I'm sure quite a few things will be reported. But yeah, I can't believe it. Again, I've gotten screwed by the safety car. I'm sure you saw it. I was literally like right past the pit entry when the safety car came out. And undoubtedly, I would have come out in net P1 on softs with clean air to take fastest lap. So I think I could have gotten all 26 points. But it seems like that's been the trend this season. Whenever something can go wrong when I'm leading or in a chance or in a fight for the win, that's what happens. So, yeah.
Yeah, just unbelievable finish, and unfortunately, that's not the first time recently that you and professional got into it recently. We got 2 races left. You guys are going for the championship. Do you? I don't know how to ask this. Do you think it's just hard racing between you two going for the championship, or do you think there's just been a little bit extra just because there's a lot on the line?
I think everything up until the last lap was hard racing. There was a bit of contact, and not even the hairpin, the right-hander at the start of Sector 3. For some reason, my broadcast just cut off mid-race, so I'll have to try and save it on my PS5 and see, but yeah, it seemed like the contact was super minor, yet it had a pretty big effect on flip, which is really unfortunate. You never want to see that happen. But yeah, I still can't believe like what happened in the last 2 corners. Yeah, like my mind is blown right now. I'm like, I really couldn't believe like what was happening as it unfolded in front of me.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you cut.
Hello? You guys got me? You still here? All right. Hello? We good?
And yep, we will start this interview up right now.
Oh my god. All right. We here?
You guys should really see what happened in the last 2 corners. It's actually insane.
All right. We good?
And the final 3. No, I think. Oh my god.
All right. We're good. Wi-Fi went out. I think the stream's still up, so I think we're good. So yeah, no, I
What was the lesson you heard?
basically, you can't believe what happened in the final 2 corners because both Ferraris essentially went after you, which I agree. Like it went from 0 to 100 like really quickly, and it was just hard to comprehend everything that happened. So, yeah, no, just congrats on the 3rd B, Tom, and hopefully everything gets settled out. Obviously, there was a lot of bad things that happened there in the last couple corners, and good luck the rest of the way. It's looking like championship might be coming to you for the 4th time.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
I'm gonna send it, and I want you guys to look at it because it's mind blowing, really. But yeah, congrats to Seafreeze and Confessor on P2 and P3 or P1 and P2 or whatever, however they finished. I don't know.
Yeah.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Now we move on to P2. Confessor, you had a great pace today. I think you were probably the fastest car on track until the contact with you and Seafreeze. Just talk about what you saw there in turn 2.
Well, just looking back at it, Seafreeze wasn't really alongside me before the corner. I think he just sent it. I turned in, gave him, I think, ample space, and I just got turned around and spun. So, yeah, not much really to say about it. I think I'm going to put in the stewards because I think, it was his fault, but not much to say about it. It was a good battle towards the end, at least.
Yeah, and well, since you've come back to TCR, you've been one of the quickest guys. You won at Coda. You were up front today and had a shot at the win. Are we possibly planning on a full-time TCR return? Are we going to race the rest of the year? What's your plans going forward?
Yeah, definitely. I'm more than happy to race for the rest of the year. More than happy.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it'll give competition for the platinum class. It'll give B-Tom a run for his money. I think you definitely have the pace.
Looking at the league, it seems like a lot of quick people just sort of race for like 2 races, win, and then just piss off. It's a real shame.
Yeah, I mean,
sustained actual like all these people stay for an entire season would be really good, but it's a shame that people just keep leaving and rejoining.
Right. Yeah, I mean, you had Lawrence. He's literally undefeated in this class, but he's only raced a few times.
Yeah, they're talking about it. He won apparently every race he's shown up to, but like he's only shown up to like 4 or 5 or 3 or whatever.
Right.
It's a shame.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Well, yeah, man. Congrats on P2, and hopefully we can see you back in here a couple more times before the season's done.
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. So now we move on to the Hungarian Grand Prix winner, and for the second time this season, it is Seafreeze, and boy, you benefited from that safety car, and it seems like as of late, whenever you've shown up, you've been right there for the win, and you get yourself back on the top step of the podium. Just talk about that safety car coming out, your reaction to that, and what you had to do to hold everybody off.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of a lot just happened. We've been racing for like 2 hours, it feels, but yeah. I don't know. I'm kind of upset and disappointed with that move there. That with me and Confessor, I didn't look back at it, but it seems I could have maybe timed it a little bit differently, but yeah. Other than that, I haven't put a foot wrong. And after not racing literally since last 2 weeks, I felt like I felt like either it was Confessor the quickest one out there or myself because the pace, everything felt really good. So, yeah, it was a good race, I guess.
And I got to ask because, I did mention how recently you've been getting into running, you've been preparing and participating in marathons and all of that. And when you showed up the past couple of months, I really think you've been one of the fastest guys. And I mean, you've always been one of the best guys, but do you think your experience in running has helped you out here, just with your mindset and your focus and your ability to get behind a sim rig?
Yeah, I mean, I've been doing it a long time. I think when I'm prepared and have my full focus forward, should be at the front of the grid. And other weeks where my performances aren't there, there's probably a reason as to why I'm not prepared. So it's really you have to be kind of 100%. in these, championships, for the full season. I think, B Tom and Vader have done that because they care about the championship in 4 months of practice. I don't. So, yeah, I think, yeah, I don't know. But yeah, for sure.
Yeah, and I'm kind of asking you the same question here as I asked Confessor, but do you think you're going to show up the last 2 weeks and give it a go here? Is that on your plan?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know when would be the appropriate time, but I don't know. Like today, even if I didn't make that mistake, like me winning that race tonight, like let's say that move, didn't happen and I won. I had zero. I was like, oh, cool, I guess. Um, I don't know. We'll see in the future. I mean, I'll definitely show the final two, and then we'll see how next game is. And but I definitely see it more on the kind of a part-time basis of when I want to show up. But yeah,
you know what? You know what you could do too, Seafreeze? You could not race the last 2 races of the season and say that you started the season with a win and finished it with a win.
That's a good idea. Now, if that stays the way, this will be my last one of the season. So.
It's a good way to finish it out.
Well, I mean, either way, it's not. It's whether the win stays or the win doesn't. It's only one tally in the either direction. I've got fair amount of them, but I've proven that I could be up here and winning races, and I don't have to prove anything else. Pretty much everything's kind of set in stone, and whatever happens, happens. I thought, in my mind, I won, and yeah, just go like that. So. But I am kind of upset about that situation there. But I mean, I don't think it would have changed much, regardless of the outcome. I think if the contact didn't happen, I still would have been ahead, and then Odoms would still had to go on that tire, and I would have still had to go on my tire. And if anything, we would have been more ahead, but the safety car kind of eliminated that gap. I guess the only thing, so I don't really see.
No, I would have probably jumped into the pits because I came out like right behind you when we paid off the safety.
Well,
I got the different way.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that's what I'm saying. Like that's why you gained a lot there, but I don't know. I mean, it is what it is. It's racing, so whatever happens, happens.
Yeah, that's a good way of summing everything up, Seafreeze. Congrats on the win, and yeah, who knows? Maybe you'll get another one before the season's over.
Thank you.
You bet. All right, so that wraps up the Hungarian Grand Prix Sprint Weekend 3-tire special chaos. There's no other way to put it. The closing laps was insane, and really, we had a good race. Like, I know all the attention is on the finish there, but there was a lot of action. There were some good battles. There were several spins and penalties to keep things interesting throughout the race. And, of course, a 3-tire strategy kept things interesting from start to finish. And the last 2 weeks of the season, hate to break it to you, it's going to be kind of boring. Traditional racing for the last 2 weeks in Portugal and Belgium to wrap up season 15 and F1 22, as season 16 will take place on F1 23. But the first race on that game will actually be our All-Star race, which will be a couple weeks after Belgium. So the season really isn't over in 2 weeks. So just keep your eyes peeled for that. Keep in mind, too, we actually have a Hall of Fame ballot going on right now, and I believe those results will be revealed in the All-Star race, right, Seafreeze?
Yeah. And what, June
22nd? Is that right?
22nd?
Yeah. So Yes, go vote. Go cast your vote. So that's happening. TCR is always exciting, and we have 2 races left, but next week will be the Portugal Grand Prix for silver, gold, and the platinum class. My name is Camden Luca, and we will see you next week in Portugal.